Welcome to the bright side of 50. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to another episode of the bright side of 50 with Carla Palmer. Hey, y'all. How's it going? How you doing, girl? How you doing, sis? I hope you're doing well. I have had a decent week. I've had a decent week and happy to be here with you again today. So today I want to talk about what I had started talking about my last 3-minute Thursdays. It was on back to school and how we should, if we can, find a kid who's going back to school. Maybe it's through a single mom or someone in your network, needs a little support. Okay. They need a little support because, honey, today is expensive. Today is expensive. Remember how we used to say that? It's expensive, girl. It's expensive. So I wanted to bring that topic back onto this episode, but not necessarily about back to school. I want to talk about 10% giving. The reason I want to talk about 10% giving, some of us know it as the tithe. A lot of us grew up in church, right? A lot of us are raised in church where we learned about tithing and giving 10%. And as a preacher's daughter, I can tell you that I grew up with this as the standard. Even as early as, when I was going up to the offering table during the giving part of the service, my mother would give me money to put into the offering pan. And it was like really ingrained in me, the importance of giving. And then when I got my first job at 15, and I gave 10% of what I made to the church. I was just raised like that. It was the standard. And you know what? We were even told that we would not be blessed if we didn't give the tithe. Now, that is biblical, I believe. Now, y'all, let me tell you something. I am not like super well versed in the Bible, but I know what's in there. We know what's in there, right? And so, right now, when you think about tithing, there is widespread cynicism towards giving, especially when it comes to giving to churches, giving to nonprofits, oftentimes giving to these political campaigns and these schools. A lot of times people are like, I'm not giving because those people are scamming, because we've seen it blow up, right? We've seen it where, some of these mega churches and these pastors, they have mismanaged funds. My son went to a private school when he was in middle school and some of high school, actually most of high school. And those administrators were stealing the money and like going on these like elaborate trips and stuff. They seriously mismanaged funds. I think they ended up going to jail. The school ended up closing down, but like it was hard. It was hard as, people who were working families, like going to these schools and thinking that we were giving our kids like this really good education. The education ended up not being so great in the end. But anyway, I digress. But because of the mismanagement of funds and these elaborate, trips and homes and designer clothes and shoes and exotic cars that we see a lot of these mega churches, I'll just go there. A lot of them have. And then you look at the congregation and the participants in some of these nonprofits, and they are oftentimes low income. And so when the math ain't mathing and it ain't looking good with the disparity and the gap, people start to be very cynical about that. That gives people pause when it comes to giving. And I understand that. I get it. But like I said, I've been giving since I was, working at 15 years old. So what is that? That's almost like 40 years that I've been giving 10% of my income. I believe in this. Okay. I believe in it. I believe in tithing. I believe in it. And let me tell you the main reason I believe in it. I believe that I am taking care of others when I give the tithe. I really believe that. And I also love the feeling that I get when I give. So there's like a selfish part of giving too, if you want to look at it that way, because I love the way that I feel. But when I give to, churches or nonprofits, I feel like I am still doing what I am supposed to be doing as a Christian, because the places where I give are usually Christian based. Now, sometimes I will give to a mom, a single mom or a mom who is in need, because I was that single mom at one point in my life. But I split up my tenth between churches and nonprofits, because that's how I want to do it. It's my money. It's my money. But knowing that I was able to be a blessing brings me so much joy. Now, do I have to sacrifice some of my months, when I want to do something that's maybe a little bit on the luxurious side? Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Because when I do my budget every 2 weeks or every month, I do my budget every 2 weeks because I'm still on somebody's payroll, right? I still get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And so I budget that money. So everything has a place. All of the money has allocations, like different line items. And I do put my tithing on my budget, right? It's a thing. It's actually something that I practice. It's something that's really important to me. And so I lay it out. It keeps me focused. It keeps me focused on what's important. It helps me to not be a selfish person, right? Because you can get really selfish. I don't have it. Somebody asks you something because they need it. You have it, but some people don't. But if you are somebody who has it, but you've been eyeing these shoes, or you've been eyeing this trip, or this handbag, or these earrings, or this, new makeup kit that came, whatever. You've been eyeing something, but that there's somebody in there's somebody in your network or in your view, or somebody who's come to you and said, I have a need. Can you help me? Or someone's telling you about someone who has a need, or you see some GoFundMe for something that really pulls at your heartstrings. Sometimes you just got to make a sacrifice. And it's the right thing to do, because I believe that we should take care of others. The Old Testament, it talks about bringing your tithe into the storehouse, right? Which is once like a central location where everybody brought their tenth back in the Old Testament. Well, these days, there's no central storehouse. We have church on every corner. We have all these denominations. We have a lot of different places we can give our money. And so it's okay, in my opinion. Listen, I might be veering off the Bible now, so don't come on here. Don't come for me. But for me, I feel like it's okay for me to give my tenth to different places, to nonprofits, to individuals, to churches. So I do have a church that I give to. Part of my tenth I give to, and that's the church I grew up in. My dad was a pastor of that church until he passed away. And then my mom took over and did it for a while. And now my younger brother is the pastor of that church. And so because I got my foundation in that church, First Church of God in Christ on Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I got my foundation there. And I believe that I should still support that church. I don't go to a church here in LA. I don't have a church home, as they used to say back in the day. I don't have a church home. I don't have a specific pastor, So I give my money to the church that I grew up in, to the church that built Carla, the Carla that I am today. And I'm really proud of the person that I am today. And I really do value the upbringing that I had. I think one of the reasons why I am able to tap into my joy reservoir and to live on the bright side of 50, which is the right side of 50. If you look at the way that the bright side of 50 is written out, there is a small b and a capital R in the word bright. And that is intentional, because the bright side of 50 that I am talking about is the right side of 50. It's doing the right thing. It's taking care of yourself. It's doing what's right for society, what's right for you. It's doing what's right. So that is how I live on the bright side. And that is because of the way that I was raised. It's the way that I was built. Did I love growing up as a Pentecostal kid? I mean, we had so many restrictions. I can't even sit here and name them all. But I do value the upbringing, and I do respect it because of the person that I am today. And so I am all for giving. I am all for giving a tithe. And for us midlifers, living on the bright side of 50. Listen, giving improves our outlook on life. It increases happiness. I really believe that, and because this is what I feel when I give. It gives us a sense of fulfillment. It shifts our attention away from our own worries and stress and gives us a sense of empowerment, right? It gives us a sense of empowerment. It strengthens, our social connection and brings about a sense of community. And it positively impacts our mental health. It gives us an opportunity to express our values and our beliefs. I really love this one because where I give to organizations that are Christian based. I give to an organization, my church home in Tulsa. I give to an organization in Uganda called Render Outreaches, and they support women and children in the slums of Uganda. And when they take hygiene packets and food, they also take prayer and worship and, the word of God into those communities. And so by my giving, they are able to do that work out in the field, and I am supporting that. And I found Stevens, who is the founder of that organization. I found him on Instagram years ago. I think we may be in like year 3 now, and I give monthly to that organization, and they send me updates. And sometimes he'll send a package by way of somebody in LA who's gone on a missions trip, and they've come back with goodies for me as somebody who supports that nonprofit. So it feels really good. And I feel like I am connected to that community that is in another part of the world because they value the support that I've given and they bring me into the community. They send me updates. They send me pictures. I follow them on Instagram. So I see the work that is being done, the Christian work that is being done by the donations that I have made. And I feel really connected to that community. And it really helps to lift my spirit and give me a sense of gratitude and also gives me a sense of abundance. Because when you give, you're giving a part of your income that you don't necessarily have to give. There's no one putting a gun to your head and saying, hey, you got to give this money away. But you are allocating funds to different organizations and to people that you care about. And this is allowing you to feel like, oh my gosh, I am living in abundance because I am able to share my resources to make someone else's life better. That feels amazing. And if you haven't done it or haven't done it in a while, I say give it a try. Sis, give it a try. Get connected to something that you believe in and watch how your life is impacted by your giving. Your life will truly be impacted by your giving. You will feel like, okay, I'm safe. I have enough. God will take care of me. God will take care of me. He always takes care of us. And when you start to give, like I said, I've been giving like this for almost 40 years. It really does help you to operate in faith and trust that you will be cared for and protected and safe and have enough to do what you need to do in life and to live a good life. You will. I promise you, you will. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I want to know if it resonated with you. I also want to know like where you give. The other organizations I give to this organization. Gosh, I forgot the name of it, but they help with trafficking. So I give to them. It's Christian based as well. I give to an organization in my hometown that helps get kids off the street. It's also Christian based. It's called Lisa's House Ministries. And then I give to San Quentin. Yes. I give to San Quentin. They have a San Quentin newspaper that is run by inmates, and they give updates about all of the good, positive things that are going on in the prisons at San Quentin. And so I like to support their efforts. And I believe that there are people who have been locked up and shouldn't be locked up. I also believe that there are people in the prisons who were locked up for things that were bad things that they did, but they have gone in and they have changed their lives. And some of them are now Christian. Like, I believe in that. I believe in supporting that. When I look at the San Quentin News that I get, the newspaper, I see any of those people. Could be my father, could be my brother, could be my uncle, could be my child. Like, there are Black men in prison who could be relatives of mine, and they are relatives of someone And who knows the life that they had that led them to the prison system. But they're human beings. And so I love giving to San Quentin News, and I will continue to do that. Like I said, I also give to single moms in need. And I am just a generous person in general. And I just love that about me. That's just how I'm wired. Again, that's how I was raised to give. My family is a family of givers. We're just like that. So anyway, let me know what resonated with you, if anything, on this episode. And thank you for being here. I know that I got some new subscribers to Instagram and to Spotify and to Apple. So I appreciate you being here. Let me know who you are. So you can make comments. You can make comments on YouTube for sure. So if you want to go over to YouTube, I am the Bright Side of 50 and GYSB Movement. It's combined title for my health and fitness movement, GYSB Movement, and the Bright Side of 50 podcast. So I just titled it all together because I wanted people to be able to find me in one place. So head over to YouTube, subscribe there, and make some comments on my videos, and let me know you're there. Let me know who you are. Let me know your background, what you want to hear on the podcast. Like, let's build this community and let's us stay connected here on the Bright Side of 50, where we are loving life, loving ourselves, and really just elevating and continuing to grow and evolve to the next level of optimal living on the second half of our lives. Okay. All right, guys, I will see you on the next episode of The Bright Side of 50 with Carla Palmer. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.